Welcome to Break a Wish, the podcast where all your dreams come true, but with terrible, ironic consequences. I'm your host, Maddox Campbell. On each show, we take a magic wish and try to come up with the perfect ironic cost. The idea is that, knowing the wish's cost, it'd still be a tough call whether you take that wish or not. Last week we had, you get a faster-than-light spaceship to leave Earth, and you can even take 2 people with you, but you can never return to or communicate with Earth ever again. We had 100% of people accept this wish on Twitter, and 75% reject it on Facebook. So you guys can agree. But for some reason you sorted yourselves by website. For this week, it's the Battle of the Thermostat. Yolanda Chung said, I wish I always felt a comfortable temperature. I huddle up with Kyle Scott and Leigh Cameron to conserve warmth. Okay, we got a wish coming in now. But first, let's meet who we're breaking it down with. First, we have Leigh Cameron.
Hi.
And Kyle Scott.
Hi.
And the wish we're breaking down is, I wish I felt a comfortable temperature at all times. Let's figure out if we can come up with a good cost for that. I'll start with you this time, Kyle. Kyle.
This implies a few things, I think.
Sure.
Is that whatever temperature it is, you're just comfortable, or that the temperature is constantly one at which you are comfortable. So it's like, are you okay with the external reality, or does the external reality change to conform to your expectations?
Yeah, I can see what you're talking about there. And there's another way to interpret it too, of it's either that you are comfortable with it or that it is safe for you. Because we could also do the thing of like, you always feel comfortable, but you're still dying of hypothermia or
that's
heat
like
stroke.
a brain thing that real people have.
Yeah, and I don't think that's what we're talking about here. I think we're talking here of like within the short range of just like, it's a little chilly, it's a little hot, is what they're trying to control for. So I'll say that you always feel the right temperature and are safe at the temperature you're at. Whether you're in like a blizzard or whether you're in the desert, you're fine. At least personally, internally, safety-wise, and comfort-wise. You're always fine.
A good cost, I think, is that the weather is always awful. It's always a good temperature, but it's always raining.
Okay, that's good. Or it could be hail or snow.
Like the worst weather is freezing rain. Like an ice storm is the worst.
But is freezing rain worse than regular rain if you don't find it freezing?
It's slippery still. It's still very slippery.
Yeah,
That's the problem with freezing rain is the slippery bit more than the
You're always
coldness.
comfortable, but it's always slippery. Nightmare.
And then you become like global enemy number 1.
Yeah, you'd have to move around a lot if you were causing terrible weather.
Oh,
like if you
God.
caused constant precipitation wherever you are.
There is a character in one of Douglas Adams's books. It's, I think, the 4th Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which I think is Life, the Universe, and Everything. I forget which one it is. It's the 4th one. It's the not so great one. Where there is a truck driver who does not know he is a rain god. And wherever he goes, it's always raining, and it makes him miserable. But the rain is just there because it loves him and wants to be near him.
I do kind of remember
Classic.
this now that you mentioned that.
Yeah. So you would essentially kind of be a rain god. But would
people could hire you to come to them because they'd be like, we have a drought.
Yeah. I guess you could make good use of that.
Get Kyle on the phone.
I mean, I guess
People
that
finally want to
you
get
would
me on
still
the phone.
feel sad about it because there'd still be lots of things you couldn't do. Like it would be really hard to go swimming at a beach,
But would it be
play
like
baseball.
But would it be
God.
like being colorblind? Like you just wouldn't know what you were missing.
Well, I think you'd still notice precipitation. Like you wouldn't notice the temperature.
You're not born
No, but
with
like-
this, I think.
No, this is when you take the wish.
Oh, when you take the wish, suddenly it rains everywhere you go, but it's
Always a
but
comfortable
you're
temperature.
a good temperature.
Yeah.
Now, if it's hard enough to rain out a softball game, that's not worth it, because devoted listeners of this podcast, hopefully at this point in the days of future past of it, they will have heard an episode where I am roundly mocked by people for wishing to be the best player on my softball team.
The short version would be Kyle cares too much about baseball.
Yes.
It would get me out of having to go to a lot of softball games.
So wait, do you play but don't like it, or what's?
I'm mixed. I do play. I like the socializing aspect. I occasionally like the playing aspect, but there's a lot of waiting around. And I don't like when people are mean or competitive. I just want to have a nice time.
Okay, so if a game gets rained out, do you guys still go to like a bar and just hang out, or
If it gets rained out, we're already there. Yes. If we're not there,
So you just have to show up late to every game and then rain it out and then go to the bar after with everyone. Because if you showed up early, then the game would get rained out and it wouldn't happen at all.
On my team, which Leigh never comes out to because I ask her to sub in sometimes, if it rains, we just play in the mud and drink and have fun.
No, see, I hate when it rains or they're like, oh, we don't have enough players. Let's play anyways. I'm like, no. Get me out of here. Why do I join teams?
Why? Yeah, I'm honestly concerned
My
about
friends
that.
are on it. I do
other
like it
things
sometimes.
you can do with
I like it
friends.
when I'm good at it. I don't like anything I'm bad at. And I'm bad at it sometimes.
Could you get better? Would you be worth?
I've got a little bit better.
Would it be worth practicing to get better? Or no?
I found the best way to get better is just wait until after the game to drink.
Well, that sounds like it takes
It's
all the
true,
fun out of it.
I'm good at like a two inches of beer. It makes me a great softball player.
Yes.
4 inches of beer. It's less so.
It's like that point where you're just near the end of your second drink, where you're the perfect amount of buzzed that you're still in control and you're very much enjoying it, but you haven't started slurring or doing anything stupid.
You're just kind of loose.
Yeah, but that's at the perfect point to want more, where you always tip over.
Oh yeah, that's where I get thirsty.
For romance.
Not
Thirsty
with
for
women.
romance.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, that too. Yeah, it really throws off my game when I get sloppy immediately after getting my third drink. Okay, so yeah, I like that idea. I think there are some secondary implications that are worth worrying about. Again, like losing all your sports games or just flooding your city.
You could be also kind of lonely because someone would be like, I just cannot be in this rain. You need to find a poet.
Yeah, I'd listen to a lot of Adele probably and gaze wistfully out of the window while holding a warm cup of coffee while wearing a cable knit sweater.
Yeah.
Yeah, find a Scandinavian, man.
Yes.
That's the way to do it.
See, I have pretty positive feelings about rain. Like, I might kind of like it because as a kid, my parents would make us play outside and we wanted to play video games. But if it rained, then we could just play video games and they wouldn't bother us about it. So, like, rain has that implication of, like, it's cool to play video games.
I do like rain. Rain makes you want to read murder mysteries, but I always like to read murder mysteries, but they're especially good when it was raining.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel guilty about not going out and enjoying the summer when it's raining because then it's raining. I don't have to do anything. I can just stay inside and read or play video games.
Yeah,
I
so for
walked
the
here in the
short
rain, it's
term, it
nice.
would definitely be great. I think just long term, when you flood your city and all the people start dying of the flooded raising waters, that would probably be bad.
Oh, yeah, like it just keeps raining.
It just keeps raining. Either
You
that
could
or you
live
have
on
to-
a boat.
You could live on a boat.
I become the new Noah.
It's hard to flood an ocean. You're right on that.
I mean, could be useful.
You could
Anywhere can be an ocean if you wait around long enough.
you could find some very cheap land because it like is in an arid desert and then just live there until it becomes high value and then resell it.
I mean, it was
Or turn it into a paradise.
This might change the world a lot.
Yeah.
Speaking of, so I could go to Mars and terraform Mars just by being on Mars because it would have to rain.
Okay, we said
It would
specifically
be very odd if, though, on the ship there for 2 years when it's raining in space.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Does it rain in? No, it doesn't rain indoors.
in space? No.
Oh wait, no, yeah,
No,
with the
like just
wish,
generally,
it would-
it's not like a sad cloud over your head, right?
But then where is the rain happening if you're on a spaceship between planets?
it's like flying through the tail of a comet.
I would bet it would be the rain equivalent of in space.
Which I think Kyle's right. Yeah, a comet would just show up and be in front of you the whole time.
Yeah.
Like a pet. It's cute. I like it.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we have to clarify that specifically it's not always rain, it's always precipitation. So on
precipitation.
Mars, I mean, it might not be rain, it might be
Rocks.
Rocks. Just raining rocks. Just dust storms. It'd always be a windy dust storm. Yeah. So you just
It'd
have
be
a
too
constant
red.
dust storm.
Right, yeah.
You'd probably die because then the solar panels would get covered with dust.
Yeah, and all my I haven't seen The Martian, but I assume potatoes
Potatoes are
were
involved, yeah.
Yeah, my potatoes would not be doing well.
No.
I feel like this caveat would turn me into somebody Doctor Who would at some point have to stop.
Someone would try to stop you. Either that or you'd have to keep moving. Yeah, if you keep moving, then no one might notice for a while. But there's definitely a lot of secondary implications to just the
would
rain.
somebody figure it out? Would this, like, if I would know, so would I be able to prove it to somebody?
I mean,
guess-
if it's useful to people, you could advertise it.
I think you could prove it, yeah. But because it would be demonstrable that every time you go somewhere it rains. Like, not
But
just
it
one
would
time.
be funny if also no one believed you.
Yes.
If you're like, it's always raining, and you're like, Kyle, you're just so down all that. Like,
Yeah, you're just depressed.
it's not you.
You're not
Just
only
the weather.
Yeah.
you're so self-centered.
Yeah.
It's just an egomaniac.
Oh, you think you can? Oh, you think you control the weather?
Yeah.
Oh, you think you control the weather?
No, I can't control it. It's just doing it. I want it to stop.
So this is
I can only control where the weather is.
this is how this scenario would play out. You'd say that to someone, they'd think you're crazy, they'd lock you up, you'd drown in the basement of a
Well, if it rains inside,
No.
it
Of a
does not rain
of a
inside.
mental hospital. Yeah, they'd lock you up and then it'd eventually
This
flood
is
the
a
basement.
very bleak. Also, in this is a real. We lock up people.
But you'd be the right temperature.
I feel like it's a
I'd
very
be comfortable.
mild thing for people to be like, oh no, lock him up.
It'd be the
He's
very.
too dangerous.
Well, if you kept at it enough, if you kept at it long enough, you could probably say it a couple times. But if
If I didn't keep my mouth shut.
if you didn't keep your mouth shut.
But who are you gonna? Who even let you? Never mind.
All right, let's switch over to Leigh. Leigh, do you have a cause for
Okay,
this wish?
my cost was going to be that you're always perfect temperature, but you were always inappropriately dressed for every scenario you're in. So like you're always wearing summer clothes in the winter and you look like a dumb. And
But you feel fine. You just look
oh,
dumb.
you feel fine. You just always look dumb. Kind of like if you go to the opera and you're wearing rubber boots.
Yeah.
So you can be in
It's
order
inappropriate
to
for
be,
every scenario. To go swimming, you're always wearing the wrong thing.
So like a parka at
Yep.
the beach, I guess. Yeah.
Who knows?
Wait.
Who knows? You know.
I know, parka.
Something. Yeah.
So you know that if you wear a parka in the summer, you will be perfectly comfortable. You are not just trying to wear a bathing suit and
You
suddenly a
want to
parka
wear the
grows
right
out of
thing,
you.
but no matter what happens, you're always inappropriate.
So you just like close your eyes, go to the closet, and then you end up coming out wearing
You're like,
the wrong.
I know what I'll wear today. The perfect outfit. And you spend a lot of time getting dressed every day. It takes you an hour to get dressed every day. And you put a lot of effort into it and you leave the house. And also, you're also really, really self-conscious about it.
I think that again, that's just like built into it. Because I think if I kept on wearing the wrong temperature,
I feel like certain people could really rock it and it'd be fine.
there's always that weirdo who's wearing shorts all winter.
Ugh, yeah. I don't know why I hate that person, but I
They
do.
are
yeah.
insufferable.
There's something about it that I
I'm
really
not
hate.
cold.
Yeah, they're just very proud of it, and I think that's what bothers me the most.
And they want to tell you. They
Yeah.
need to tell you how they're cool with it and you're not, and that makes them strong and you weak.
Yeah, show offs.
I'm a little iffy about the mechanics of this. Is it kind of like
Really? Because
in
I've really thought it out.
the Santa Claus where he constantly grows the beard out no matter how much he shaves, immediately the beard grows back? So you can take off the parka and then immediately a parka appears on you,
No,
or do you
no,
just
no.
automatically like mindlessly put the parka
No,
on?
but you're not just wearing a parka. You're probably wearing like a parka and like a weird fur vest and like I don't know, like the bottom half of like some hip waders. Like
Yeah, you didn't mean to wear this, but you just sort of automatically mindlessly
you're dressed
did
in a way that
Fugue
everyone's
state.
like, what is going on with that person? But you've put so much effort into it, and every day you think you're gonna nail it.
And do these just like show up in your closet too? Because like I don't.
Every
have-
time you go shopping, you spend too much money on
Oh,
ridiculous
okay.
clothing.
So just
No one can let you in an army surplus because it is
Oh yeah.
it's too much.
too much.
You have a lot of gas masks in your closet. Oh, also, you're always trying to clean out your closet. You have too much stuff for your house.
You're looking for any clothing swaps.
But
to
you're
go
a
through.
great temperature.
Yeah, great temperature. This just really seems like someone who like has that prop addiction. Who just keeps on getting costumes and props
It's
and
a
stuff.
lot like that.
Yeah.
But except you wear them
But
everywhere.
you keep them wearing them out. You can't just keep them in the closet.
And you feel so embarrassed. And also because nobody wants to say like you did it again. Everyone's like, "Wow, nice outfit," and that's when you're like, "Oh no, I did it again."
Okay, so what?
And then you become that jerk who's wearing shorts all winter, and you're trying so hard not
Especially
to be.
because you're going, "What a great temperature," and everyone's like, "God, I tone deaf much."
What about times where you have to wear something very specific? Like I get the idea of like, oh, it's summer, you're wearing something for the winter. Winter, it's wearing
Like,
something
oh,
for
you
the
mean
summer.
for your improv performance where they're like, everyone wear black with a red
Yeah.
tie, for example.
or like
I remember
or
that.
maybe you're in a play and you're given a costume, right?
No matter what happens, you'll put on the wrong thing. If you're in your dressing room and it's only the costume, you're going to end up putting like on a bucket.
A bucket.
You
and
go to a
nothing else.
funeral and you're dressed for the beach.
Yeah.
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 The weddings and funerals were basically you can't go to those anymore,
Oh,
especially
it'd be
not
funny
funerals.
also if you. This is a different thing. If you, whenever you got dressed, you accidentally dressed exactly like the person you were going to go meet. So
You didn't even know. You just somehow
you didn't
always
know,
happens.
but like exactly. So you go to a funeral dressed just like the corpse.
Oh no! I think that'd be worse too. Is like you show up at the hospital dressed like a doctor.
You,
What are
you
you
show up
doing?
to like a meeting with your boss dressed exactly like exact
You
same
go
outfit
to
as
court
him.
dressed like a judge.
Yeah. I like that one. What's the counter? What's the wish that one's countered to?
We normally figure out the wish first, then the cost. But yeah, we can go
So
into
you
it.
don't have to. It's where you don't have to think about whatever you're wearing. It's always going to be appropriate, but it's socially inappropriate.
But we could do that for the temperature one too. That could still match
Sure.
up.
Okay. You're always the perfect temperature, but you're dressed exactly like the person you're going to meet.
I like it. All right, I'm going to go on to my proposed one for this
Especially
one.
if you're on a date and then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They dress up real nice, their favorite dress, and then you're wearing the same one.
Yeah.
My idea was you're always the perfect temperature, but everyone in the same room as you is always off, and they disagree about what direction
That's
the
what
temperature is
room
off.
temperature is. Room temperature, like the 22 degrees Celsius, is meant to make a 40 to 50-year-old, somewhat heavyset male comfortable. And it is especially bad for women.
Are you doing Fahrenheit right now?
No, the
40 to 50 degrees?
40 to 50-year-old man.
Oh, I'd stop paying attention.
Yeah.
Never mind. My
But like when
bad.
it was said back in when HVAC came in the 60s, it was for the average upper middle management male to be comfortable.
Air conditioning is brutal. I hate it.
Yes, it's much worse. Men don't feel it as badly as women because it's set up for us.
Also, I think we biologically feel cold more. Is that a thing? I feel like I read that.
think
And then I was
so.
like, aha.
I mean, it could be a thing of
Also,
like
we don't wear suits.
what suits.
Sometimes we do.
And women's clothing is
There's-
flimsy and made to fall apart, so you
Yeah.
have to buy more, so it's thinner.
Often more revealing areas as well. Like you'll have sleeveless stuff where we always have sleeves, pretty much.
Yeah, the world's kind of set up against you.
Seems like.
What? Okay, wait. I have questions about this scenario.
Sure.
Question number one is, so is this a scenario where you being around changes the temperature for everyone else to be uncomfortable?
Yes. So let's play
Oh,
this
you're
out
the
scenario.
worst.
Let's say I take this wish.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel perfectly comfortable here, but you find it too cold and Kyle finds it too hot. And if no matter how we adjust the temperature, you guys will always be arguing about it. You'll always find
So
it
it's more like a
uncomfortable.
weird mental thing that occurs to other people. Like it
Yeah.
makes people feel things. Okay.
Yeah, it always makes the people in the room feel a little bit off, and they always disagree about it. So there's always an argument. You're always perfectly
that's
comfortable,
exhausting.
but the people around you are always arguing about the temperature.
Do you know that you're causing it?
Yeah, because you took the wish. You knew the cost
Yeah.
when you took the wish. So you know you're causing it. And like, let's say there's only one other person in the room with you. First, they'll think it's too cold. And then if they adjust it, they think it's a little too hot. And they'll constantly, everyone around you will always be trying to adjust the temperature.
This is a nightmare.
And you think it's perfect.
You're
You
very
always
good at
think it's
coming up with
perfect.
cons to all of these because I always hate them. Wait. So, okay. What about when you're outside?
Yeah. I mean, there's
But
still,
like,
there's still a temperature
are they like,
outside.
I'm cold. I need another jacket.
So
Yeah.
it's
But
December.
then one person's
This
like,
is the worst.
and then one person's like, it's hot. Like you're with three people.
This is like a scenario where anyone around you is like, I don't feel quite well. I'm a tiny bit under the weather. And you're like, I hate this. And they want to talk about their symptoms for a long time.
yeah.
But
you're
everybody
fine.
feels that
Not
way.
sympathetic.
Like
so I
you
hate
can go
this.
to the South Pole in a t-shirt, but
Wait, so the South Pole. Wait,
But all the,
okay.
scientists
Researchers
there
are
are
like,
like, oh, it's so cold. I just want to get my penguin experiment
and like
done.
one guy's like, no, it's too hot.
yeah.
Open a window.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing then.
Is it dangerous for other people to be like if you're like in a really freezing cold place and someone's like I'm too hot, like
Ooh. I mean,
like
there's
because in
always
the Antarctic,
change-
like someone probably shouldn't be taking off all.
Does
their
it change the ambient temperature to one that you are comfortable with, or does it just make it
Oh,
that no
right.
matter
Is
what
it
the
a
ambient
mental thing?
temperature
So
is?
I said for you, you're just always safe, whatever it is, and you always feel comfortable.
So you can go to minus 60 Antarctica,
Yeah.
and you will be fine in a t-shirt.
I'll be fine.
And everybody else will be too cold, which they would be anyways.
Right.
except for that they might also be too hot,
There might be one guy who thinks it's too hot.
and
That's
he's in
hypothermia.
trouble
Yeah.
because it's not.
But I think if he, yeah, I don't want to kill anyone with this.
I mean, hey, that happens sometimes.
Yeah.
So like you'd have to spend a lot of time to talk people into staying in their snowsuits. Or like passing out water in parks because everyone's like, it's so cold and wearing parkas and you're like, everyone's getting sunstroke.
It's sunstroke, yeah. I don't want to actually hurt anyone. I'd say normally they're just like a little off, but
But then to any place of work, especially in the summer, people are never going to agree on what temperature is comfortable.
Yeah.
True.
But I'm just making that like
But that
full
just
on
leaves-
magic everywhere
yeah.
you go. That's always happening. Like that's annoying when it happens at work. But now this is everywhere you go.
Even if it's just like 2 or 3 degrees off of what is comfortable, and like not to the point where somebody is taking off all their parka clothing at the Antarctic, but just so that they be sweating in it, but they know that they still be cold inside.
Yeah, I'll say they switch in time to save themselves from any like serious damage, but then like someone else will get too hot.
But
like,
everyone would be agitated.
Yeah, just everyone's
would be
always
unhappy
uncomfortable,
and
yeah.
uncomfortable. It's like instead of
You'd have a
life-threatening,
terrible view of humanity.
yeah, it just keeps everyone safe, but at the same point, everyone's
But annoying.
Annoying. Everyone's annoying. Yeah, that's the way I want to put it.
It's almost as though everyone's itchy all the time. It's that level of annoyance. Yeah.
But just with temperature. And they're always like, again, they're always talking to you about the temperature and it's always fine for you. You have no problem with it at all.
Ugh, that's how I used to feel about people with mosquito bites.
What?
I don't know. Mosquito bites never really bugged me before.
Like, do you not get them?
No,
or-
I get them, but then they just go away. They itch for like a minute and then they go away. But recently I've been getting them and then I'm like, oh, I get it. I was always like, everyone's the worst. Shut up about your mosquito bites. And
started scratching finally.
Now they stick around.
What changed? I want to know your secret of young Leigh.
I don't yeah, I don't know. I got old. I got old. Now my blood tastes good.
Tastes good. And apparently is more reactive to mosquitoes?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Because you said you still got bit. You
Yeah,
just,
I still get
it
bite.
just didn't bother you.
I have not gotten a mosquito bite yet this summer.
Or maybe it was psychological. I was
I
stronger
got,
then.
I got a couple.
What? Really?
Yeah. I spend a lot of time outside too.
They love to
Don't
bite
move
me
it.
on like my knuckles, like on the
That's
joints.
the worst spot.
Ooh.
And toes.
Yeah. Toes they have trouble
Toe
getting to
knuckles.
because I wear shoes a lot. But like finger knuckles
Not
all
me.
the time.
I don't like it.
Barefoot and gloves.
Did you take the wish already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't wear shorts that often, but I wear like if I get bitten when I'm wearing shorts.
But I wear chaps.
Yes. I get bitten when I'm wearing shorts, then I'm wearing pants afterwards is awful because the uncomfortable place is now rubbing up against something that
Oh, yeah.
wasn't originally rubbing up against. Or like if you switch from short sleeves to long sleeves and you have something itchy just under a long sleeve.
Yeah, and you
that
can't
can never
scratch it because
satisfactorily scratch it.
Because your shirt like cushions the scratch. It like it softens the itch. It softens your nails.
And
so
I
you
know
can't
I
scratch
shouldn't,
It.
but so I'm just stuck toughing it out. Oh, that's like the world in with Maddox's comfortable temperature.
So-
I hate that world, by the way.
Yeah.
That's
We're at that
awful.
point, so we're gonna go back around to it. So, quick recap: we have the 3 wishes. Kyle was you're always the perfect temperature, but it's always precipitation, rain, or some other
I
bad
weirdly
weather.
like that, and I know it's a bad idea.
It's only a bad idea if I stay in one place.
Yes, he has to keep on the move. Lee's was you're always the right temperature, but you're always dressed inappropriately.
Exactly like whoever you're
No,
going
yeah.
to
Oh
meet.
yes,
Yes,
but
yes.
we changed that around. So yeah, you're always dressed exactly like the person you're going to meet.
Which is hilarious at first.
Yes, it would be so much fun for the first week, and then it would cause your life to fall apart very quickly thereafter.
I feel like it'd be the opposite. For the first week, it'd be like, what? Are you okay? And then after that, everyone would kind of forget.
Yeah. People, I think we're overstating unless it's the edge cases of the doctor or the judge. But then you're just basically essentially living a kids show where you go and learn about different professions.
And mine was you're always the correct temperature, but the people around you always feel like it's not the right temperature and disagree.
The worst one.
That makes everyone so angry.
So, are there any that we're leaning towards being ones that we do want to take?
I weirdly would take Kyle's.
Yeah, I think I would.
I would take Kyle's or mine.
So keep in mind, we're not trying to find the ones that we want the most. We're trying to find the one that we think is most balanced. The one that we think generally
Most
people will go
balance is
50-50.
hard. I feel like Kyle's is most balanced.
Yes,
It is to me the most logical. I can't believe I'm saying this, but
Lee's has like
a whimsical quality.
It's
so
a whimsical
funny.
quality, which sometimes is of low impact, sometimes of high impact. But it's usually of such low impact that it's barely a caveat. It's something that people would not really notice after a while.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess just for comfortable temperature, I'm wondering how much this wish has value, I guess, right?
Oh, as someone who is often the wrong temperature,
Yeah.
I'm like pretty much always cold in winter.
Speaking as somebody who
I
has
just want to not wear a coat.
an
Ugh.
apartment that is way too hot in summer and too cold and too warm also in winter because the heat is too strong, I would love to just have it be comfortable.
I have had it's very hot in this apartment, not just now but like most of the time
We're sitting under blankets.
we are sitting under blankets now, and that's making it hot right now. But it's normally too hot for most of the heat
Like,
waves
imagine
and
if it
stuff.
was April and May and September, October, forever. Those are perfect
Yeah.
temperature months.
Yeah, that would be great. Why did no one pick that as the version of what it is? Not April, May. Those are the worst.
Why?
What? It snows and rains.
Well, it's like for the first week of April.
Nah, June, August, September.
June was hot this year. June was ridiculous.
I'll take one hot month. If we got only 3 months of the year, June, August, September, I'll take an October.
Okay, so you're a cold person though, so you want the hot month. That's just like your. That's
I
what
like
you're saying.
I like a mid. I like a predictable mid. I like August because cold at night. This is
True,
the
it does
oldest person conversation in the world.
We've gotten into old people talk.
Oh, God, what are we doing?
I want a comfortable night, though. I love being outside at night and wearing
August.
shorts and comfortable.
I like a summertime night. Summertime night is the perfect temperature where there's not the sun bearing down on you. It's just warm. You can walk out
When
with your
it's
shorts.
not humid. We live in the
not
worst
humid.
city for humidity. We're built on a swamp.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I know.
Yeah, we both grew up in the city, or close to it. But
Yeah, is New Brunswick not a bog?
No.
isn't it just a fine mist all the time?
It sounds like it should be a
some
bog.
of the cities are basically in fog all the time. Some of the places are not. I was in places that's just kind of windy and cool. Like it's a cool breeze most of the time. The summer is like warm, but then it's just always blowing a cool breeze.
What on earth?
It's kind of nice, actually. Yeah.
Oh, what at?
We've got swamp lake weather.
This podcast supported by New Brunswick Tourism.
Let's all go. Oh my
never
gosh,
been. I kinda wanna go.
can we do a live episode in New Brunswick?
New Brunswick? If I get the fan base in New Brunswick, New Brunswick listeners, please.
Right in. I know two people in New Brunswick. Yes.
Yes, Fredericton is where I'm from.
I don't care about your life story.
Okay, but also that was weak that you know Fredericton's in New Brunswick.
I thought maybe it could be Nova Scotia. Those
the
two I mix up a
capital.
lot.
It's the capital.
What, it's not St. John?
I've got two
No,
friends
St. John
in
is the biggest
Sackville,
city,
New
but it's
Brunswick.
the one that's constantly in fog and kind of a sad, dismal place to live.
Well, yeah, that is kind of what I associate with the maritime.
If anybody's in Sackville, New Brunswick, go to Thunder and Lightning. That's my friend's bar.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Not an
Passing
official
through,
sponsor.
going to
but
Mount A. Official sponsor, Thunder and Lightning.
let's circle back a little bit though. Which of these three wishes do we think is most balanced?
I think most balance is Kyle's.
Yes.
Kyle's?
Yours
You guys-
is great, but it's just not worth it.
Yeah, it's just too annoying. You would say no for sure.
I would absolutely say no.
Yeah, it causes everyone around you to be awful. Therefore, your life is awful.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
I would rather have it raining or worse around me all the time than have people talk to me about the temperature.
Okay, so let's try to work out Kyle's. I think for myself, like I'm tempted to take it because again, I actually like rainy days. I like that pitter patter of rain. I like.
Romance.
I find it romance. I have
Same.
So easy to sleep when it's raining.
easy
Yeah.
to sleep. I find those connections to my youth, where it's like rain days were cool days where I got to play video games.
Even in winter, when it's
not-
not too cold and it's snowing, I love those days.
Yeah.
At first, at least in December when it first starts snowing.
The only problem I'd say is like if it's every day, you do have to move around. Like
Yes, eventually the ground becomes sodden and floods occur.
Or there are places where maybe it literally does rain most of the days. Like if you went to like, I don't know.
But this is constant. This is not just raining
Iceland?
some of the day. It's always
yeah, but like what if you
raining.
lived in one of those like, I feel like there's like just really damp fjordy kind of places in Iceland. or
Also,
something.
Do they rain?
equatorial
Yeah.
rainforests.
where is the rainiest place in the world? Is it like
Listeners,
I think it's
write
in
in.
Brazil. In
Send
the
us your
rainforest.
letters. Maddox collects stamps.
Got to be, I think, the Brazilian rainforest, like the Amazon.
I mean, it's
rainforest.
called the rainforest.
Amazon
that seems
basin.
like a good.
Yes, I think in that area, or perhaps like sub-Saharan Africa.
Or you could live in a boat.
Yeah.
Boats would be nice, but then is it
Oh,
like
Seattle.
is it like storm tossed boats? Like if it's raining every day, would it like be dangerous on a boat?
We're not saying it's storming. It's
Yeah, I
just
guess
raining.
it's just raining.
Because
Okay.
if it would be too unbalanced if it was storming.
I also love the idea of having to move around all the time. That very much appeals to me.
Oh,
Like that's
okay.
a pro. Any kind of one where you're like, and now you have to stay in this city forever. I will never pick that.
So you
even though I've been here for 10 years.
So would you take Kyle's wish then, straight up?
Yeah, I'd straight up take Elvish.
All right, Kyle, yourself.
Yeah, I would take it. I thought it was one of the best ideas I've had in a very long
I
time.
mean, I don't know if I'd take it over regular life, but
yes. But if we're taking this wish.
if we're taking
So yeah,
Elvish.
the idea is you get the rain, but you also get perfect temperature.
yeah, if we're
Yeah.
agreeing to the concept of this podcast.
Yes. We were saying, do you take the wish? The wish is that you get the perfect temperature, not that it rains every day. So knowing that you get perfect temperature, would you take as a cost that it rains every day?
Mm-hmm.
And we got yes.
Yeah.
I got to go no on this. Yeah.
I'm going to take it for a reason I don't know, but it just seems really appealing right now.
Yeah, there's something about it. Yeah, I feel like I could live with it.
I mean,
I'm gonna write murder.
I was close on it, but again, like I couldn't have to move that often because it's raining and I'm flooding my city.
I love it. I got a houseboat. I track sharks for a living.
There's a lot of good rain songs. You got Riders on the Storm. There's
I got a mermaid girlfriend.
Yeah. They would evolve around you because then it's Waterworld.
Wait,
right?
so we're making
Waterworld. I wanted to be in Waterworld. What?
We do? Do we want Waterworld?
I want to fight over cigarettes and oil.
I haven't seen it since it came out, but I don't remember it being...
It's not it is not good, but it's not as bad as you think.
Okay. I don't think I want to live there, though.
Let's rewatch it and then decide.
Okay. We will come back to this.
Part 2.
We're going to wrap up the
edition.
podcast, but I'll do any caveats after I rewatch Waterworld. We'll find out.
So essentially, you'd have to murder me to prevent Waterworld if the rain is going, or murder the Wishmaker.
The Wish Taker.
I think in this, just don't think it'll rain that much to make so much of a difference.
Yeah,
but it's raining every day. Like, how often does it rain? Normally, is like maybe once a week.
But it's
Here.
it is about, not necessarily about the amount, but it's amount over time. If it is a large amount in a short period of time, then it overwhelms storm drains and the ground. But the ground can handle a lot. Yeah.
But wait, aren't there cities where it rains almost every day anyways?
Yes.
Like which? Like you said, maybe the
Probably
Amazon.
Like lots of England?
Some of England, yeah. But
Yeah, and we're not talking about storms.
and we're
here.
also not saying, we're not saying rain every day. We're saying it's always
Constant.
raining.
Yes.
Which is different.
Yes,
So
it is
even
constant.
even if it's a fairly light rain,
24/7.
if it's 24/7, that's going to save up. Like even the places that rain every day, it like rains for an hour every day and then it stops raining.
I just assume it lightly rains all the time.
I think you're going to end up with some flooding. That's where I'm at.
We need
I don't want to deal with a flood.
a materials engineer to get in. No.
Nah, I'm into it.
nah.
I'll take this challenge.
All right. Well, we've at least come to the end of the podcast.
I am going to just spend a whole bunch of time in the Sahara and just change the world.
I almost believe that you'll do good things for the world, Kyle.
Desertification is a real problem.
It is. All right, so we've reached the end of the podcast. Kyle and Leigh are both willing to take this wish. I am not. I don't want to have flood the city of Toronto. But what about you, listener? Would you take this wish? And are there any other wishes you'd like to hear us break down? Well, that's what we came up with, but we want to hear from you. Your wishes, your thoughts, whether you take this wish or not. You can find us on Twitter at breakawishpod. Email breakawishpod@gmail.com, join our Break-A-Wish discussion group on Facebook, and you can support the show by writing a review, telling a friend, or donating on our website. Find all this information at breakawish.ca. For more Leigh Cameron, you can find her on Twitter and Instagram at CamLeighCam. And if you want to go to our website to find out more about her live shows and her podcast pilot episode, go to thebloodymaryshow.com. For more Kyle Scott, follow at GKyleScott on Twitter. And also, he co-created my last podcast, Caverns and Comedians, which you can still find at kicksandgigglesentertainment.com. This is a Kicks and Giggles Entertainment production hosted by Maddox Campbell, theme by Matthew Reed, cover art by Justin Langford, and a proud member of the Sonar Podcast Network. More podcasts at thesonarnetwork.com. Before I go, some wishes don't take a whole episode. I call these summary judgments. At FitGymJunkies on Twitter said, I wish I had more friends who went to the gym. No, you don't. Because if I were to grant you more friends to go to the gym, the cost would be that the equipment you want to use next is always in use, and your friends would never wipe their sweat off the equipment. You don't want friends at the gym. You want podcasts. Podcasts are your friends now. So, what would you wish for?
This podcast has been brought to you by the Sonar Network. Sonar!
Caverns and Comedians is a real play Dungeons & Dragons podcast featuring Toronto comedians playing Dungeons & Dragons. We roll the dice, but we edit that out to just give you the nice role-playing experience. Featuring acts of heroism.
I've got his wallet. I mean, I didn't mean to kill him, but he was bad, right? We're pretty sure?
Do I have to heal you? I don't want to. Can't you just die?
Ooh, a dungeon master. My safe word is potato.
Stumbling towards goodness, one roll at a time. Caverns and Comedians can be found on iTunes, Google Play, or kicksandgigglesentertainment.com.
Hey,
Griffin
Steve
here.
here. don't turn this off yet.
You finally got to the good part where we tell you about our podcast.
It's called Killed to Death, and it's an improv podcast where we solve
Made up.
murders.
Not real ones. That'd be weird.
We've had so many great guests, lots of which have been on other Sonar shows like this one, like
Chris Locke,
Alistair Forbes,
Jackie Pierco,
Nicole Passmore,
Matt Folliott,
our friend Aiden,
3 different guys named Dave.
nobody named Lucas,
Sometimes you can hear the guys who live above us through the ceiling.
no ghosts,
Exclusively ghosts.
and so many more.
So check out the sonarnetwork.com/killedtodeath.
Killed to Death. It's usually less than an hour.